All right, guys, welcome back to another video on the Average Joe Turned Pro. We're back here with John. We're going to be going into a chipping lesson, so I'll let you take it away.
That's right. You just said it. So today's plan, it's 100% chipping. So
Okay.
what it's all about. Kind of going to be an extension off the first lesson that we had, and you kill it, dude. You did super good.
Thanks.
And so I'm excited for today, just because it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be some things are just going to be similar,
Okay.
but we're going to be maybe exaggerating a few of those feels that we were doing last time, only because that's how we become really good at wedges. But this right here, this is the home.
Okay.
As far as getting good at golf.
Sounds good.
We get good. We get good with all sorts of shots around right here. It's just it's a home run from there.
Okay. Yep. I needed it. I went and played on Monday, and I mean, not all my iron shots were good. I mean, I still have a lot to practice. I still need to practice through that. But yeah, once I got around the greens, it was brutal. Like that's where a lot of my strokes came from.
Really?
After like looking back through the because I videoed the whole thing.
Okay.
And I was just looking back, like I would be there and then I would go like this, and I'm just like, oh, it went like 5 feet and I have to chip again, or like I hit it way too hard and scolded and it like went flying across.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Definitely need some help around here.
Okay. Well, tell me. So if you were to have this shot, let's pretend this is actually you missed the side of the green.
Okay.
Let's just plan that this one's going to be the furthest. So I want to give you some green to work with a little bit.
Okay.
So let's just say furthest pin is where you're trying to go,
Okay.
right? Okay. How would you approach this? Let's see what you would do right now.
So what I've been doing, so while I was out there, I was trying to because we kind of talked about how this is the chipping, so I was trying to do what we talked about.
Yeah. Okay, so you're forward pressing.
And it was kind of like messing with me a little bit.
Okay.
And so I'm just going to do what I have done for chipping.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll show you that.
Okay. I mean, not bad.
Yeah.
You got the ball up in the air.
Far.
Just a little too far. Yeah. You just chip again. Let's see it again. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, now let's go back to let's have you try to go into those forward press positions.
Okay.
Nice. Okay, so a little stronger, same result. One a little lower in the air.
Okay.
So just because we're pushing that face forward like that, so we're de-lofting it. Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's give you another try right here. Okay, all just a little too long.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here's why. Okay, we're gonna practice being in the right position.
Okay.
So you can show the viewers with the video that I took that where we sit when we're vertical right here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, when it comes to wedges, sometimes realistically there are minimal times, but sometimes we're gonna want to have that shaft somewhat vertical, and that's only when we're trying to get a ton of spin on it.
Okay.
Now, that's going to be like chipping lesson like 110. That's after we get really good at just doing the thing that you'll be doing like 95% of the time. Only in the rare occasion are you going to need to flip through one to get that generate a ton of backspin. And we'll show you that shot, right? It's kind of like that one hop and stop shot that they hit. It's what they're doing. But I mean, that's though where the shaft gets a little bit more vertical for that shot. Everything else is going to be in this forward press position. Again, if you were to go have you watched the Masters yet?
I haven't.
Not much of it. They just watch anybody around the green.
Okay.
Look at their positions. Look how they chip. Like pretty much, like I said, 95% of the time, you'll see them in just the same position. So why we want to be pressed forward right here is actually to help with our distance control. Okay. One, because it's right, again, proper place to be, but like remember with our last lesson, you had that same window trajectory with your iron. It came out. It didn't go high. You know, sometimes you would thin it, maybe go a little bit low, right? But I mean, if you were hitting it well, it's coming off the same window. Okay. That's how you gauge distance control. Like that's how we get good at chipping, is because if we know that we're going to be in the same position every time and that we're going to come through the ball with the same angle of loft every time, then we know what to expect with the ball. And then from there, now you can just use your judgment to like, okay, little softer, little harder, whatever it is that the shot requires. Okay. So let's see if we can get you unfreaked out by it.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and jump back into the position.
Okay. So
yeah, go ahead.
I don't need to worry about, because I feel like one thing people kind of focus on is that backspin, getting the ball to stop when they're getting into it. That's not something you should worry about at all until you're really consistent at your chipping.
Yeah, when you're 50, 60 yards from the green, you're going to be
Okay.
coming through with enough power that you're spinning the ball.
Okay.
But like, I mean, to hit a one-hop stop shot from right here,
Yeah.
oh, that's a golf shot, and that's something that's like very much practice because
Okay.
there's very little room. So, but what we do is we show you how to put more loft. Like for this situation right here, I've kind of put you into a tough position. One, because we're actually chipping uphill a little bit. That's not really the case. That's not the tough part, so to say. But this green where you have to land this ball is going away from you. Like
Yeah.
if we were to be over there, that would have been a lot easier because you're chipping up the hill.
Oh,
But
yeah,
right
yeah.
now, this is actually a kind of a shot that you need to land really soft because it's going to run out because this
Yeah,
green is
all
going
of mine
away.
were. I mean, I was landing like
Pretty good, yeah.
pretty well. I was like, I want to land right there, but
Yeah.
then it was still rolling all the way back
Yep.
off the green.
Yep.
Okay.
So if I can get you to hit a good shot from here using normal technique, then it's going to make me showing you how to manipulate the loft by opening the club face to hit this shot even easier, I guess
Okay.
is what I'm trying to say. So,
So
but
first thing is just
fundamentals.
basic fundamentals.
Fundamentals,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
So yeah, love the ball position. For a shot like this, you guys, for wedges, middle or slightly back. So middle to slightly back.
Okay.
But let's see how good we do today. Right in the middle of the stance is great. Locked and loaded. Again, I'm looking for this. I'm looking for this straight line from the left shoulder down the shaft. That's key. You look.
Okay.
Go in. Oh. So let's look at these positions. That looks. How does that look to you?
That looks good.
Looks pretty good, huh?
It feels weird,
Mhm.
but like seeing it on this, it's
And then boom. Like I'm just also. As you come through, you're still. I'd actually look at you a little bit more forward.
a little
I mean,
more
it's
forward.
not bad,
Okay.
but I would say even more forward.
Okay.
It's good. So it's going to be. So it's going to be a lot like this. Like if you want to step in my position.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're square. So here, I want to see you come through, and I want to see you end like this. Okay.
So just
Yeah, hold that off. Yeah. Yes.
okay.
Exactly. We don't need it. We don't need to break our wrist with this shot. We're not hitting it, that hard.
Okay.
It's right there, and you can end right there. But yeah, let's just see you just hold that left side.
Okay.
Yep. And then one thing that I've noticed, you're actually stronger than you were at the simulator. Okay. So let's be sure that we need to grip normal, maybe from vertical, grip normal, and then press forward. Because what I'm seeing is, again, remember, we naturally want to sit 45, right? So if I just hang my arms, my hands naturally want to be here. So if I start gripping a club and I'm in a comfortable position, well, I'm in a strong grip, okay? And so if I start forward pressing, now I'm way forward press, and then, your natural grip is more neutral. So I would say just until you get really comfortable about being in your normal grip, I would say go vertical, make sure that you're gripping normal, and then push forward in that position. Okay? All right. Yeah, should feel kind of like a putt. Beautiful. Nice, yeah. Came off nice and low. Good contact though. Okay. That was awesome. Let's look at that. Let me show you how you look right here. How did that feel coming off?
Felt pretty good.
Boom.
Oh,
So
yeah.
good. So good. That is control. That is a controlled swing right there.
Okay.
And the more you get comfortable with that coming through, even like, dude, you're gonna be awesome. Your ball striking is gonna be great. So very, very nicely done. Okay, let's see the last 3 shots, and then we'll go pick up those golf balls.
Okay. Oh, I think I didn't keep that forward.
Not bad though. I mean, really, it's a great
Yeah.
strike. Nice. Okay, solid. Obviously running out a little bit. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll talk. Next chapter, let's talk about that. Since I've actually seen you hit, you're not going to struggle with this at all. You look comfortable. You look good. It's no surprise. Let's just talk about more nuances. So the next steps here.
Okay.
Let me ask you this real quick. When you're swinging through this, when you're hitting that chip shot, your grip pressure on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you think you are?
Probably like a 4.
A 4. Okay, I like that. This chipping technique, I mean, you should be seriously 3, 4.
Okay.
Okay, anywhere around the grain.
Okay.
Soft hands better.
Yeah.
Truly. What's hard to understand is people when they're learning correct chip positions
Uh-huh.
is that they feel like, okay, soft hands, but then they get soft wrists.
Oh.
No, you got to hold that. I'm going to let you just hit the next 10 shots, just concentrating on just your grip pressure, but not letting your wrist break,
So wrist, keep my wrist locked, grip soft.
Yep. And why? Why is this so crucial, especially when we're hitting out a rough?
Yeah.
And, most lies, but particularly the rough. Do this for me. And anybody that's watching at home, go into some long grass and grab your wedge. I want you to just put your club down into some thick grass, grip at a 10. I want you to grip at a 10, and I want you just to try to get that, just try to push the club through. What do you feel?
It grabs it.
Yeah, that's chunks. I mean, you're hitting all sorts of bad shots. But when you're in long grass with a strong grip, if anybody's experienced like hitting a poor chip shot, is because they get so stressed, especially if they got 50 cents on the line, right? Or they're playing with their buddies, or they're trying to get their best score, and all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, this is thick grass. Like they get tense, and then it's all downhill. And go to a 1. Go to a 1 where the club is basically barely, in your hands, and then just.
That's crazy.
Isn't that wild? There's nothing there.
No,
it just glides right through.
Yeah.
That's why those guys on TV are so good. Those guys and girls on TV, they're so good because they're, they have just those nice soft hands. With this now, let's just practice soft hands, but making sure that our angle stays
I'm not
the same.
breaking through with
Yeah. So I want to see you kind of end like that right there. Okay. So same kind of thing, but hands are soft. So we're gonna just try that. We're just gonna practice that.
Still aim for kind of the far one, or
yeah. Let's keep going up top there. Perfect. Awesome. Great. You got your grip. Then you press forward. Okay. Yeah. Now it's just about grip pressure, holding position. So good. How nice did that come out?
That was really good.
Yeah. Okay. So do that 5 more times here.
Oh.
All right. Very nice. That came out wonderfully. Yep. Okay. A little off to the right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the same thing. I was just had the open club face.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Or is that's what that is?
Yeah, because your hands are getting soft, and all of a sudden you're kind of getting, and you're is back to that idea of when you push forward, your face opens.
Yeah.
So for you, just make sure that as you come through, hold that position, soft hands, but shut the face down.
Okay.
Yep, perfect. Yep. Kind of learning club face control there now. Oh, a little bladed. Try again. Beautiful. Look how nice that is. Yeah, look at that distance control. Now we're right at the hole. Okay, try to replicate that same feel right there.
Oh, bladed.
Yep, little bladed. Okay, next step. Are we ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into the next phase of everything. I feel like you're doing good at that. How are you feeling?
I mean, shots aren't what I want them to be, but I feel it will take more practice, obviously, of just kind of feeling like that lock wrist position.
Yep.
Because I do want to just let it go.
Sure. Yep.
So
I'll hold on to it.
Okay.
All right. So the next step. No, I wanted to stop right there because of that bladed shot. All right. So let's show you how to minimize those. This next one, very important. So go ahead and load back up into your address position, just like you're hitting the chip again. Okay. Get to your left side. So chip this. I mean, yeah, like 80, 90% of your weight is going to be on your left side. Okay, so why do we do that? So when you watch a person on TV and you see them hitting a bunker shot, or you see them hitting just an around the green shot, and if I were to hit a shot, here's how I'm going to stand. Let's say I'm just chipping over to the putting green over there, right, with this club. Here's how I'm going to be set up to hit that shot right here. Okay, so I'm ready to fire now to hit that 30-yard shot, but I put my feet a little closer together. That's just comfortable to me.
Okay.
I'd say you don't need a big wide stance to chip. You look comfortable. You're just a little inside shoulder width, right? And that's fine.
Yeah.
So if you want to stand even closer, these aren't long shots, so whatever's comfortable. But do you see how my weight is like almost all on my left side? So if I'm 50-50 in my weight, and if I'm even in good positions like this locked and loaded position, do you see how when I take the club back, do you see how it drags on the ground?
Yeah.
It's like a putter.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of like what you should do with a putter. You just back and then forward, right? Well, with wedges, we still have to hit down on the ball.
Okay.
And so I want to make chipping as easy as putting. Really, if you do these foundations, this should be as easy as putting.
Okay.
From, once you got the things correct, then it's just distance control, just like you're practicing putts, right? So to do that, again, because we're still hitting an iron, we need to hit down on the ball, let the loft of the club put the ball up in the air. We need to get to this side. So if I'm 50-50 in good positions, club drags on the ground going back. If I stay over this side, watch what happens when I make the same move. Where does it go?
It goes just up.
It goes straight up.
Yeah.
That's it. And I didn't change anything. I want you to feel the same thing.
Okay.
All I'm doing is I'm just making my angle go from up and then I go down on the ball. Now you're doing good, great striking through the ball, getting down into the ball. I mean, even with your, yeah. But that looks comfy right there to me. Yeah, that looks like you're, basically just hitting a putt shot or like a putt. And then what we're now learning is a pitch shot. So beautiful. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so why don't you hit the last 5 shots just doing that.
Okay.
Same target. So good. So good. You've hit some great chip shots. Love that. Everything about that was just pure. And it
need
looks
to
so
work
comfy.
on the distance, right?
What's that?
Like just distance as far as like, because I'm still rolling it past, so I would probably want to land it softer still.
Yep. Okay, we released the club, and that's why that shot out a little further.
Okay.
You took,
my wrists.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's I try not to have you think about too much, but make sure when you get into positions, done. After you've checked your grip, press forward, got your weight forward,
and then I need to refocus on my wrist.
Yeah. Then let's focus back onto. Yep.
I think that's what's okay. It's grip.
Solid. Yep,
Okay,
looks
now
great,
keep my
dude.
wrist locked.
That's beautiful. Yep. Now just hands and wrists.
A little low.
Very nice. Yep, a little low. Actually had quite a bit of spin on that one. Okay, do it again. Now you just learned how to hit that shot.
Yeah. All right. Just a little more
Wow,
left.
very, very nice. Okay.
Put it in.
So,
right still. Okay.
so good. A little right. Yep. Face was a little bit open. Okay, dude. Well done. How you feeling?
Good.
Good. Good. All right. Let's go pick up some golf balls real quick. All right, dude.
Chipping.
Okay. So repetition at this point.
Okay.
10 strokes. I'm gonna have you keep working on the same thing, but focused. Okay. So I'm not gonna talk because you already know what to do at this point.
Okay.
So right now, this section of this video is just gonna be like, let's just see you just try to focus in and just try to hit the right
try and
shots,
get
right? Yep.
on.
So what are the three? Just to recap real quickly. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So my grip.
Yep. Make sure the grip's
Make
good.
it good first, and then shift in.
And then shift in. Weight on your left side. Okay. And then from there,
keep the wrist
Yep.
locked.
Locked forward.
Right here. I'm gonna do some practice of that.
That's awesome. And then hands nice and soft. When they're nice and soft, the ball comes off nice and soft. And that's how you can kind of start really working on
so
that distance
I just
control.
Going through this practice, I just noticed I kind of brought my hands up first. I'm here, and then I kind of went like.
Yeah, I would say you don't really. I mean, because you want to put yourself in that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just don't overthink it. Please don't. The last thing you need is don't overthink it. But keep it like a putter, right? I mean, this is just a straight. This is a straight back forward motion, right? So. Beautiful. Loved how soft that one was.
Yeah. More. Now I'm too soft.
I was actually curious to see how that was going to go. We'll talk about that after. Your lie actually was what influenced that.
How my club or
just how
on
that
the
ball
grass.
came out. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's our next phase. After you're done hitting your 10 shots, then we're going to start talking about lies in the rough. Yep. Yep. You can go back to the fill of a little bit, like what you were doing a second ago, as far as that, where you thought you were too soft, when in reality it was actually pretty good. All right, I got to stop talking.
Okay.
You do you.
Oh.
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 Did you see that release?
Yep.
Yep, try not to release. So good. You see the difference?
Yeah.
Yep. Best chip so far. That was a chip in, guys. Ooh, that one had a lot of good amount of spin. Nice. That is so good too. Another great move, just a little strong.
All right. While we were out there towards the end, we were going to start talking about the takeaways from the lesson. And it was too hot outside, and my camera needed to cool down. So I'm at home now. I'm going to film this and kind of cover what we talked about and the fundamentals and what I'm going to be doing going forward, practicing my chipping and putting. So this lesson was strictly chipping. We went over 3 basic fundamentals for chipping. So the first one for me, and he also made the point to say, we talked to you guys as you guys watching this, things to work on, and he told me that he needs to stop doing that. As he mentioned in our last video, he's talking strictly for my needs as far as chipping and putting. So what he's saying to me doesn't necessarily apply to you. That's where he's talking about what I'm working on for my chipping and putting. Maybe you guys are already good at that, and kind of the emphasis of if you really need or are wanting something to work on, maybe it's just a one-time meeting with a golf coach. He can kind of point you in the direction of what you need to work on, and then you work on that for a while until you feel good about it or have more questions. Then you get back with a coach. So for me, what I'm working on, the 3 fundamentals for my chipping and putting. The number 1 is my grip. He noticed as I was already setting up in my stance with that de-lofted face, I was changing my grip, and that was ultimately shifting how I was hitting that ball. So he told me for the first thing is get in a neutral stance with that shaft pointing directly at me, vertical, get my grip, and then push my hands forward and get used to that feeling. The second thing was shifting 80-90% weight on that lead leg. And then the third thing, there's kind of 2 parts of the third thing. One was soft hands, and the other part of that was keeping that wrist locked through. So I wasn't breaking my wrist as I was going through and letting that wrist break and follow through that way, but my follow through stayed with that wrist locked, and I followed through that way. So those are the things that I'm working on as far as my chipping and putting practice. What he talked about and what he has a lot of his students do is pick a spot, chip the ball 10 times, try and get into a range where you can immediately then go and put it in. And so I'll chip the ball, not chip the ball. I will chip 10 balls onto the green, and then I'll take my putter, go onto the green, and then put those 10 balls in. So that is what I'll be doing from here on out. Every once in a while, I'll go over to T-Box. So a big shout out to T-Box and letting me use their facility. Probably once a week, I'll go over there and keep practicing what I've been practicing as far as full swing stuff. But John said in the first video he wants most of my practice to be chipping and putting, so that's what I'm going to focus on. I do want to say also, if you guys have any questions about your golf game or things like that, drop it in the comments. I will talk to John about what you guys are saying, and we'll probably have at the end of every video, I'll bring up 2 or 3 questions that you guys are having. The one stands out to me and bring it up to him. So drop some comments in the questions. Drop some questions in the comments if you guys have any. Like the video, let us know what you guys think, what you want to see more of. I mean, we're just starting, but if you guys have any ideas for what sports you want to see us compete in, to see what we can get better at over 2 months and see who can get better, the guy with the coach or the guy going through YouTube. So yeah, thanks for you guys for watching.